Hello everyone, Cassandra Good reporting to you live from my home office here in Albany, Georgia. And today I want to talk to you about multiple streams of income. And I know I've made a video on this before, but I know I still get a lot of questions from people online on whether or not they're emailing me or they're just reaching out to me with social media or what have you. And they always say, Cassandra, why is it that you're running more than one business? I see that you're advertising more than one business. Well, I'm going to have to tell you something. Back in 2003, 2004, I experienced a very, very rude awakening, and it had to do with me working in the state sector and coming up totally believing, since my parents were civil service workers, believing that when you find a good job, a good position with great benefits, and you stay there. That was basically what my mom and my dad would tell me. You just stay there until it was actually time to retire, and you get your benefits, your 401k plan was intact. Well, fast forward, that rude awakening came into 2004 with our first quarter, where they came to us, our supervisors, they came to us and said, look, we're coming down from Atlanta. We got to talk to you guys. So when they came down from Atlanta, they pretty much let us know that this quarter has been a bad quarter. Next quarter, what we would like y'all to do is resubmit some more state merit applications in different departments. I myself went to Department of Human Resources, and a couple of my associates went in various other areas where they had positions for us. Then we got settled into those positions, and again, the big guys came down from Atlanta and they let us know again that department is having a little bit of trouble with funding. So if you will, go ahead and apply for another position, put in another state merit application. And the whole time, my biggest concern was because I had put in several years. I put in the time that I had accrued. I was looking at, well, where's my 401k plan with all this shifting? Is all of that still intact? And I was assured that it was, but I realized that it wasn't. Fast forward there, I ended up with a company that was called Frutavita. If anybody remembers what Frutavita was all about, but it's actually a nutritional drink that was hailed as the best nutritional drink of its time, and it was all about AccuBerry. I don't know if any of y'all remember the AccuBerry and how it was important to have free radicals and enzymes and so forth to clean out your arteries and make sure that you were more conscious on your health properties in your body, your cellular structure, oxygenating your body and making sure that your blood had more oxygen in it. And all this was hailed from this juice that was the main ingredient that had AccuBerry in it. Well, my whole thing was that I was very concerned, will this end up on a shelf somewhere in Walmart or Costco's or whatever super brand store? And we were told no, it would never happen. Now, true enough, it didn't happen, but of course, other AccuBerry supplements and stuff started filling the shelves at Walmart, and so the product became devalued over time. But before the product became devalued, apparently the marketing side or the statistics side of that particular company saw ahead of time where the company owners had decided to sell. Unbeknownst to us reps who have built the company up substantially, that was my first six-figure year. That was my first alignment of being able to have a 5-figure monthly income, a little over $10,000. And after my fourth month, getting rid of some of my debt, getting rid of some of the things that were bogging me down in the form of debt or what have you, I went in and elected to retire from my state position. When I retired from my state position, I remember the last quarter statement telling us about our IRAs and letting us know about our 401k plan that I was like $278,000, and which I thought this is a nice cushion, something I won't have to touch. I built up this Frutavita business very, very well, and I'm very, very proud of that. So, but when it came time for me to receive my funds from the state, I ended up with 71,000. Don't ask me where the other $209,000 went. I have no clue. I was just given a very thick pamphlet that basically said, in layman's terms, that we can use any part of your retirement to keep our doors open or to keep viable jobs for you all for whatever duration we deem fit. Okay, so that's basically what that did. But at the same time that it happened, I felt still secure, because here I am. I had built this one business to over 5 figures in the monthly income. So I was still comfortable. I was like, okay, I'll get over it. I know, I'm a spiritual and a karma woman, so I felt like God makes no mistakes, so he still put this in my path for me. Well, I didn't know that at the same time that this particular company was going through a monumental shift. And what I mean by monumental shift, it was sold. Okay, unbeknownst to us, we didn't realize that it was sold. When it was sold, I ended up making sure that I wanted to take my daughter and a couple of her best friends to Orlando for the week. We was going to stay in a cottage. I had everything planned up. It was time for me to go ahead and make the deposit and let the people know that I'm securing this weekend, this week for our trip and everything. Well, when I went to the bank, or I went to my credit union, the funds were retracted. I didn't know there was such a thing. I didn't realize, they could do whatever they did, but they did. And along that time, things weren't, it didn't take, it doesn't take a long time to process something now. But back then, it took anywhere between maybe 14 to 21 business days for a paper check to clear. There wasn't that connectivity with all the banks, and they didn't have these softwares that they have now. So fast forward. That was the reason why I realized that you have to have multiple streams of income. When that check was retracted, it was retracted so that I guess they could liquidate or whatever, come to terms, whatever agreement they had when the company was sold. The company was sold from a matrix plan, which was easier for anyone to build, to a binary plan. So here I went from over $10,000 a month to just a little under $3,000 a month. Mind you, that was less than what I was making in my state position that I just resigned from. Okay, so that was a nice blow to the gut. Wasn't something that I was prepared for, but I said to myself, one thing I knew was how to build that business, and it was offline. So it wasn't online, so it was easier for me to be able to pick back up and say, you know what, I know about mailing. I know what lists are viable. I know what lists are responsive to having a good plan or a good business model. So that was still what was helpful for me. I learned that multiple streams of income does not mean that you don't care about the company that you're in. It doesn't mean that you don't have a passion for the company that you're in. It just means that you're trying to secure yourself. It's kind of like the old adage where your elders would tell you, sweetie, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Now, if they were talking about the same thing that we're talking about today, I can't say that would be relatively true, but they always felt that you have to spread your risk. They might not have known the technology about it, and they might not know the technical jargon about it or how valuable it was, but they did realize that you don't risk it all on one hand. You want to make sure that you spread yourself out evenly. Now, a lot of people say, Cassandra, well, how do I do that? That costs a lot, this, that, and other. Well, I will tell you right now, when you're spreading your risk, I don't suggest a person just go and keep hopping from this, that, and other. No, I don't suggest that unless you have that ability. If you have that ability to be able to do that, you've found your window of marketing that you're successful with, you can be consistent with, and it's showing you some proven results that you can leverage into something else, by all means do that. But if you have not found your ROI in that one business yet, and you're still hammering away at that marketing that you're doing and you constantly, and it's not working, make sure you tweak it a little bit. do a little bit of this or do a little bit of that. If that's not working, move on to the next marketing plateau that you would be comfortable with. And why do I say you have to be comfortable with the marketing that you're doing? Is because I know you have to be consistent with it. And the only way that we're actually going to want to do something on a regular basis is if we like what we do. If you don't like what you do, you're going to build up a resistance to it. And the next thing you're going to say is, that didn't work for me, blah, 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 blah. That company, I didn't make any money, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes you have to ask yourself, what is my part in this? As I tell all of my team members and everybody that joins me in my business opportunities, I tell them you have two options to build this business. You either populate or you delegate. If you don't have the funds to delegate someone else to do or to run traffic or to provide marketing services for you to build your business to a successful plateau that you're comfortable with, then you must populate, meaning you have to put the work in. Whether it's an hour, whether it's 2 hours a day, or whatever it is, you have to be consistent in doing that. That's the only way that you can successfully create multiple streams of income that will allow you to be able to have checks every week, monthly, or even some paydays that are every day for you. Now, I'd like to tell people, position yourself into different businesses that will allow you to experience all of it. I have some businesses that I get paid on a daily basis. Then I have some businesses that I get paid on a weekly basis, a monthly basis. I have some businesses that pay me directly into my bank account. And then I have some businesses that allow me to get a check every month or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is, you want to make sure those multiple streams of income are working for you. Okay, making sure that you have marketing that you like. I do a lot of marketing offline. I love offline. I've mastered offline. I know the list that I deal with. I know the people that I deal with when it comes to offline. When I need to get some marketing done and I can't do it myself, but I have to delegate, I know exactly who to go to. Okay, so guys, this is very, very important. I see people, they're, and it's nothing, don't get me wrong when I say this, but they're die hard for one company. And there's nothing wrong with being die hard for one company, but I will tell you this, we're all human beings. I'm human, you're human, anybody that's watching this video is a human being. It comes to a point that sometimes what you're actually doing when you're 20, 30, 40 is not the same thing you want to do when you're 50 and 60. Trust me. Some of the things that I started out doing, I realized later on, now that I'm older, I don't want to do that anymore. So I will phase out of that. It's the same thing sometimes with companies. Sometimes these companies change hands. They go and get younger people, or they might delegate certain aspects to other people. The different products and services might be rendered that are rendered to you are a little bit different. You might not be accustomed to, might take a little learning curve. You just really don't know. But to give you a very, very special insight in the wake of our economy and how things are actually going, it is very, very imperative that you have your mindset set on being able to create multiple streams of income. And also, if you have some passive opportunity where you can have some funds working for you in the background while you're building your business, is awesome as well. Even if it's 6% every 2 or 3 months, let your money feed those accounts and let your money work for you while you're working for your money in other business models. Okay, so I hope that helped you out tremendously. There's many of you all that I speak to on a regular basis, and there were some people that I started with in some other companies, and they were die hard for their companies. And don't get me wrong, I don't feel indifferent for you being diehard for that company, but I wanted you to wake up and realize that multiple streams of income is the way to go. Okay, now you're going to see some information below that you can actually step into, and you might like what I have, you might not like what I have, but I can assure you, when people join my team, I give them information and resources that will help them right out the gate start on an adventure that they don't have to look back on. They don't have to worry about how their financial future is going to be, because they can look forward and they know that they have the right resources in order to get them there. Well, this is Cassandra Good reporting to you live from my home office here in Albany, Georgia, guys. And please open your eyes to the possibility of multiple streams of income. Y'all have a good one. Bye for now.